if you spend some time around children, younger children, tweens, teens, who may from time to time be exposed to the internet, social media, streaming services, YouTube channels, you may have picked up maybe a little bit of a twang. I'm picking it up in my house. And before you start saying, Lester, your child spends too much time on a tablet. No, she does not actually, but she does spend time with friends and acquaintances and the people around her who I can't police because I'm not their parent. I'm my daughter's parent. But my child is not my child. My child is also a child of the world, and she will encounter other people as well. But it's the difference between saying soda or cool drink. Do you pronounce the word D-A-T-A? How do you pronounce the word D-A-T-A? It's data. That's the only way to pronounce it, Mario. It's data. But language is evolving, but it sometimes feels as if Western speech, and particularly Americanized speech, is filtering into our day-to-day lives as parents. It's known as the YouTube accent, but it's not just that. There's also the Peppa Pig accent, where children who are exposed to Peppa Pig end up having little British lilts in their accents. There's also the Bluey accent, where all of a sudden there are children who are starting to sound very much Australian. There's something known as TikTok voice, where particularly women or girls end up speaking with a rising intonation in their voice. Also, younger men are taught via TikTok to have some sort of narrative rasp in their voice, which I clearly can't do. Amiena Peck is the chairperson of the Linguistics department at the University of the Western Cape. Good morning, Amiena. Really appreciate your time. Do you have kids in and around your home, and do they have what are known as YouTube accents?
Morning, Lester. Yes, I have two kids, and they don't actually have phones. So I'm sorry, I've just put out the disclaimer. Yeah, but just to say,
Okay, so
stop them from, but I'm getting that bluey sort of accent from time to time. So my son will say, "Oh, biscuits," when he forgets something, which is not, that didn't come from me or his dad for sure. And I had to laugh when you talk about Peppa Pig, because we have kids that are born in South Africa that sound quite British and definitely quite Australian, absolutely. So yeah, there's an influence there from social media and
is it purely just mimicry, or is it some sort of socialized influence in how, if you're exposed to a certain amount of programming, that you end up talking like that programming?
Absolutely. So there's this critical period hypothesis. So this is the theory that, when there's a certain time in your life where human beings are particularly responsive to the linguistic input. So that is like between the ages of 3 to 7, but it ranges, right? And this is why you can take a baby, you can have a baby anywhere, the baby will learn, the language of the area, Afrikaans or French or whatever. It's not, like if you're born in South Africa, you only speak these languages. Of course not. But that also means that if your child is exposed to social media, that at a critical time, they are going to pick up something. And so at the moment, I would say it's quite harmless because it is the accent, and it's quite cute also to see. But there are other dangers, of course. While I was prepping for this talk, I didn't know that children actually spend on average 5 hours a day on their phones. So I also don't want to get into the whole phone thing, but I do recognize that, of course, language shapes, social media is shaping their language use.
But it's not just children. I've also been reading up on what's known as TikTok voice, or maybe even YouTube voice. People who maybe want to emulate their favorite TikTok creators, or maybe even have aspirations of hosting some sort of YouTube channel, also taking on some sort of vocal trick. Spoke about TikTok voice, where it's shown that mostly younger women, girls, talk online with a certain rising intonation, For boys, it's called a vocal fry. It's to try and talk with some creaky tone at the end of a sentence. But there's also what is known as ASMR voice, where it's these lower pitches. Come get ready with me as I show you another hidden gem. And these are older people. These are still legally probably children, but these are older people. And I wonder what that tells us about the influence of these creators online.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're definitely buying into a particular image and a way to look and sound online. Um, I actually am not that much on TikTok. I can actually almost hear my postgrads groaning. But so I haven't heard that raspy voice of the males, but I have to say that sounds quite contrived, and that's unfortunate because one of the things that we want for our young ones is for them to find their voice and to lean into their own authenticity, which comes from speaking the way you normally speak, man, like with your accent and but this is what people don't realize. I mean, in South Africa, of course, we have a lot of different accents,
That's right.
but it's diversity is so beautiful. So I know I don't know, Lester, you've also experienced this when you go overseas, people either say your accent is musical or it's sexy or it's flat. Well, whatever it is, it's real. And it would be lovely if those young ones that are online start to lean into that. But that's very difficult at that age. Everyone wants to fit in. It would just be nice if they lean into their own way of speaking.
As a linguist, do you correct your child? I do correct my daughter when and of course the shows that she watches are largely either Western American. So she sometimes says can't, and I then say no, can't. Is that helpful? Is that useful? Is it only temporary when she maybe starts encountering a greater swath of the South African public with our South African accent, whatever that is? Does that then get put to a side? Is it helpful to correct what may be a YouTube accent that bothers you?
I think what would be helpful is if you get curious and you say, "Wow, that's so interesting that you say can't and I say can't." And I can tell you why I say can't because we were colonized by the British. But I mean, you said can. Like, are all your friends saying can? And so if you open that conversation, they might feel like, oh, okay, they recognize firstly that they're speaking differently, and secondly, it's not in an accusatory way, so they may feel like, let me teach dad about this thing, and then you also have that sharing. So I don't actually rectify my kids. I don't think they would listen to
They
that,
wouldn't listen to you.
especially my son is 8 years old.
Okay, but you're an associate professor in linguistics at the University of the Western Cape, and they still won't listen to you. Why would my daughter listen to me? Amiena, Peck, really appreciate your time, professor and chair of the linguistics department at the University of the Western Cape. Freddie says, "Goeiemorgen, Lester. Regarding YouTube accents, my late father always lamented the use of the word kids for children. Kids are baby goats, he would say. Guess we gotta just go with the flow. Go with the flow indeed."